Hey fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. We are here, I'll take that from you, with folks at XQ America. Their Super Schools Initiative, and so what they're actually is a production. They have a pop-up magazine, SQ Plus pop-up magazine presenting Super School Live. If you go to their YouTube channel, they have the Super Schools Initiative, which has really been about how do you redefine school, how do you make it more interesting, utilize more innovation. So that's one of the things that they have been working on. So in a moment, we're going to be talking to Mark Echo and Russlynn Ali, of course, leaders of this initiative. And so they are, I'm looking around, there's Russlynn. Come on, Russlynn. See, she's hanging out behind me. She didn't even know she was here. So grab the microphone.
Hello, sir.
What's going on?
How you doing?
Chilling.
Thank you for being here. We're in
Glad to
beautiful
be
Virginia
here.
Beach.
Glad to be here.
You see this face of humanity
Yeah,
in this room?
I see.
I just finished this round table, Roland Martin, with 30 of the most phenomenal young people from schools around this area. Taught us so much.
Cool.
So much.
This is the third one. So Los Angeles, Chicago, here in Virginia Beach. What have you seen as a difference in all three?
So there's some common fabric throughout. Young people are hungry to have a voice in how to make their schools work better for them. They are not satisfied with the education they are getting. They are eager to make a difference and be the voice for change. So I find the diversity of community and geography is special, but the commonality amongst all these young people ready to act and be the change they want to see is what I find most inspiring.
We've got, obviously, candidates announcing. Joe Biden announced today. You've got, he's the 21st person on the Democratic side.
Yes.
And the thing is, you see all the drama in the Department of Education with Betsy DeVos, a place where you used to work as well. And one of the things that I often talk about is that we have to connect the dots.
Yes.
That it's one thing for people to say, you know what, I don't want to be involved in that. I just want to be focused just about my child's school. But the reality is, what happens in Washington, what happens in state houses, what happens at school administration buildings has a direct impact.
Absolutely.
On what happens.
Absolutely.
And dealing with one of the things that we'll be working with y'all on, school boards.
I mean, and not just a responsibility, they govern the whole system, right? School board members, we're talking about $600 billion a year that they are responsible for spending. Federal government, you're talking about 10 cents on the dollar. Every dime that is spent in public schools, the federal government has a role to play in that. So the entire ecosystem must work together. And, you know, you and I have talked about this many times before. We have never seen a real civil rights, a real equity, a real positive change at schools without the federal government's involvement, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and again, and that's why I keep emphasizing why you have to connect the dots.
That's right.
Because when I travel around this country and I talk to people, folks really sort of have this view of, you know what, that's not my thing. I don't really want to get involved. And when you look at school board races around this country, there are people who are literally determining policy, what's happening in schools, who only got elected with a couple of hundred votes.
That's right.
And so we spend like all of this energy right now on the presidential campaign, when actually most people's lives are going to be transformed by that local board.
That's right. That's right. They are responsible for all of the decisions made at the state and local level when it comes to how our schools operate. You have state boards of education, you have local boards of education. Less than 5% on average people vote in school boards.
Less than 5%.
Unless it's an election that has a presidential or it's an otherwise sexy election, less than 5% on average, right? This matters. If we care, we will vote.
So with the Super Schools Initiative, after we went through picking all the folks, all the different schools, first of all, how has that been going? You know, how have they been redefining these schools?
Well, we're at 19 now schools, transformative models that are showing us how to do high schools differently than we've ever seen. But we now also have a few states. Rhode Island is working on transforming all of their high schools. Tulsa, a district in Oklahoma, working to transform all theirs. We have demand and interest from state leaders everywhere seeking to get community voice engaged to dream smart and then build the next generation of high schools for their young people.
So you got somebody out there, and they're saying, that's great, it's wonderful y'all in Virginia Beach, but you know what? I don't know where to start where I am. We're talking about high schools, but there are elementary schools and middle schools as well. And so what do you say to the person, or let's say they don't even have any kids, but they say, I'm concerned. Where do they start? What would you tell them? Okay, fine. This is what you can do right now.
So first, you just mentioned school boards. Show up at a school board meeting. Hear what's happening in your local community. Up to now, it was actually very difficult to know when your school board meeting was, who was running, when the elections were. We have a new tool on our website that allows you to enter your zip code, and all of that information will come to light at xqsuperschools.org. Show up at a school board meeting. Listen. If you are a parent,
so I think folks saying that I can barely hear her mic, so keep talking, and I'm going to hold the mic up to you. I got it. Go ahead. Keep going. No, keep talking to that one. They're going to get it covered regardless.
All right, so show up at a school board meeting, right? It matters. It counts. If you are a parent of a young person in a school, your voice, you are the most important stakeholder in your community at your schools. So show up, be present, vote. Right? Inform yourself with data. We have new tools on our website as well that will empower you to be able to act. If you want to redesign a high school in your community, we have information for that too. Again, at xqsuperschool.org.
You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.